Let's talk about what we've learned in our 20s, our 30s. So in today's podcast, Cece and I, we're going to talk about some of the things we've learned from when we started dating to get married, having kids, and obviously till now. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Hey, Blissful friends, welcome back to another episode of the Blissology podcast. I am your host, Cece, and I'm joined by my hubby.
Hey, everybody, this is Will, and welcome back.
The man of the house.
Yes, I am the man. So welcome to our podcast. If this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe and hit on that notification bell so you can be notified when we put out these videos. Now, this is a weekly podcast, and in this podcast, we talk about
a whole lot of stuff in here. Y'all know me, you know. We talk about love, family, relationships.
That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah. And whatever's going on, we're going to talk about it here in this podcast. You guys know we bring a lot of goody, juicy stuff. You know, we keep it PG-13. Would you say, babe?
We keep it relationship, I'd say.
Yes. So yes. Welcome back. So before we get into the topic of the day, we like to go into what we call our blissful moment. Okay. So, babe, you know I'm gonna ask you,
what's blissful? What
is your blissful moment?
I think we're getting back in our groove.
Yeah.
And literally what this means is that I'm sleeping later than usual because she's making me stay up late to fix things or create things or rearrange things. In fact, just earlier I was on a Zoom call for about 45 minutes trying to arrange something she just likes to have a certain way. So as much work as that may be, I like to do things. So I'm not complaining. It's just that I don't sleep as much as I normally do. But it's been good. We're making some changes to her business. And whenever we're making changes to her business, that means work for me. But if you check out our website, loyaltyluxcredit.com, you'll realize some of the changes we've made. Well, some of the changes I've made. And that all come out of her I'm thinking we should do this. And then 2 days later, with me working late at night, and we got it. But it's good. It feels like I'm doing something more to help my wife, which is always a good thing.
Aww.
Hopefully I get some payback.
You will. I am feel, it is a good thing though.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a blessing too. It is a blessing where we are busy. I
reminded her if she had someone else working on these things, she should imagine, she should think about how much money she's saving by making me do that work. So I should be compensated in some way.
And you are.
Yeah, I am.
May not be money, but you are.
Yes. So that's my blissful moment.
That's awesome. And I am so proud too of the things that how far we have come. Let me tell you, my blissful moment is, so last week, today's Saturday. So last week, I was getting dinner ready, get the food going. And my husband came home that night after a long day at work. He was in the kitchen with me while I have my laptop in the kitchen. I'm cooking and taking care of dinner, and he came home. He came home that night, and he had to make a phone call to one of my clients, and he called a client. Like, he was on the phone literally for like almost 30 minutes, if not longer than that.
Yeah, so my work don't just stop after I clock out
from
my normal work.
Oh, I am so grateful and so blessed to have a partner who support my dreams, and who are also here to help me in our business, help us in a way accomplishing our goals. So I was a little bit emotional because I saw him in the kitchen, after getting home from work, was still call the client too. Cause we have a lot of clients. We're grateful and blessed to have the amount of clients that we have. And he was like, you know what? Let me just call this client while I'm home, and mind you, he had an appointment with a client at 6:30, and he got home at 6:25 and jumped on the call and talking to the client about his credit and all that.
You know, what I haven't told her is that I've been building an invoice. I haven't sent it out yet, but all these little things that gets done from the late nights, the calling clients. Sometimes while I'm in my office, I take a lunch break and I get on the computer and make a call. All of these things, those are billable hours. And she's going to get it.
Listen, get you a partner that support your dream, and you do the same thing for them too, right? Yeah. Like Blissful Moment to me, it's like the things that we did together. It's a long way. We worked. We actually I got over my feelings. You know, sometimes my feelings can get in the way of my success. And I think same goes for you. Your feelings can get in the way of your success. And we like, you know what? F this feeling, let's just work together. And I'm more like, let me put my feeling aside. Because my husband is like, whatever it is, let's just work through it and then make it happen. So,
definitely. And talking about calling for our photography business, I haven't spoken to a single client since the beginning of the year. All the bookings, all the coordinating, all the appointments, the scouting of the locations. She's been doing all of that. I just show up and take the pictures. That's it. So we're supporting our business all the way, and obviously we've acquired the skills to be able to do so, and we're pitching wherever we need it. And that's a true partnership where we all can actually jump in and do what we're best at, just to make sure to support each other. So yes, I'm grateful to have her.
And I'm grateful to have him.
I'm still going to bill her though.
Well, I'm going to bill you later on tonight. So anyways, you know, enough about our blissful moment or our grateful moment. Let's get into the topic of the day, which is what? Before I say my butt in this.
What have we learned, or what we've learned from the beginning of time, which our time together when we started dating, to now, which has been 15 years.
I thought it was what we learned in our 20s and 30s.
Oh, maybe in our we started dating in our 20s.
I'm still 20. I don't know what you're talking about.
Then you wouldn't have anything to share for what you've learned on your 30s.
I'm still 20. I'm 25 for the rest of my life, y'all. I don't know if you know me, you know me. God and I would sign this contract since I'm not looking older. I'm 25 forever. What you see here is 25. Whether you want to put a number, that's great. Some people say, oh my God, Cece, you look like you're 18. I was like, well, thank you, but I'm not. I'm 25. You know? Or if you think I'm older, I mean, I understand. You're just a hater.
Where we're entitled to feel whatever age we want.
I'm 25 for life, and this is where I'm going to, I'm going to run with it. Whatever you want to feel, however you want to think of my age, what age you want to give me, thank you. But I'm 25 for life. I'm putting this out there for those of you who don't know. I know I have some new subscribers on here. This woman here is 25 forever.
Okay. She is 25. But so everything that she will share or will talk about will be all that happens while she's 25. Right?
Yeah, from like 20 until 25.
So hey, listen, when we live as human beings, that's something that will always happen. We will learn stuff, we will change. Sometimes we'll be disappointed based on what we think would have been and what actually happened.
Yeah.
And I know that's one thing when we're coming up, there's certain expectations that we're put on, this is how you should be. This is where your life is going to be. If you do this, this is what you should expect to happen. But I'll tell you, man, things don't normally happen the way that you told or the way that you were taught to expect. And life take that turn. Like, for instance, me, I've learned that early on that it's never about me. It's about her.
Wait, what? That is so not true. I don't know where you're going with this, but that is so not true. Were you wild in your 20s, though? Let's go a little back in high school. Were you like wild and
No, actually, I was never wild. No, that's not.
Like,
listen, I came from an environment where I'm told, you go to school, you learn, and I started from my the early days, but more importantly, during my early days of college, you gotta stay in school. You learn as
More
much you
like
could.
high school.
Yeah, started high school.
Get you a high school program.
And go to college and get ready to get a job where you can make money to survive. Don't think about getting married early on. Wait until you're like much older to do that, because you don't want to marry as very early, because you wouldn't be able to support yourself. So I came from that kind of background. Now, as far as what you call wild, yes, I may gone out and hang out with a few friends, but never done any crazy stuff.
Okay, never. Okay.
Never smoked anything. Never tested any drugs, because that's something. If I do this, I'm dead. My parents was the type that if you do things like that, you gone. You are gone.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean gone? Like
they'll
kick you out. Or they'll kick you out of the house.
Well, kicking out will be the last thing, but they'll beat you up.
Here in America, they'll beat you up.
Listen, I don't know if they would have taken that risk, but if I take based from my experience early on, there are things you do. My parents will whoop you. And I've gotten a few whoopings. My brother's gotten a few whoopings. Not in the U.S., because when we got here, we behaved. And so
you had no choice.
But we knew that there's certain things that we shouldn't do, we shouldn't take part of, because there were crazy consequences. So
yes.
So early on, my directives were get to school, learn stuff, put yourself in a position to save money and make money, and find a nice girl to marry later on. And have some kids.
Yeah.
I kind of have done that. Not quite. Actually, I think I've done exactly what was expected.
So you follow the instruction. You follow the book.
I follow instructions pretty good.
You do.
Think I've done what was expected.
Yeah.
Maybe with a few little twists here and there.
Like, what do you mean by the twist here and there? What are you referring to? I don't see any.
Maybe there was no twist, because it's kind of happened the way that it was expected.
They said it should be, right?
But obviously, I've learned a whole lot along the way, that sometimes, like when it comes to marrying someone, there's ways you used to do things when you lived on your own that you no longer do things like this. You have to learn to cohabit. You have to learn to tolerate people. You have to learn to bend a little bit in the way. So yes, I've learned those things.
Yeah. Speaking of cohabit, yesterday we were over at my parents' house, and we were there because my dad had he has a sister that passed, and we were all there. Just be around him and make him feel loved and all that, which we do every weekend or once a week, twice a week. But here's the thing. We were there talking, my brother, my husband, myself, my mom, my dad, and the girls and the kids were like playing around and doing the kid stuff, whatever. And my mom was like, what was the question she asked?
Well, she brought this whole topic on, it's not right to live with someone before you married that person. Don't leave your house and go cohabit with someone in an apartment for whatever amount of time without tying a knot. And I think she gave that example that one of her coworkers lived with someone for 10 years, and then that person left her, and when he got married to someone else.
Yes.
So she was really, really on, this is unacceptable. You cannot leave your parents' house and go live with someone without marrying them, which you did exactly what, because I think the expectations for her was you leave my house when you marry someone, which is what you did.
Right.
You didn't live with me until you married me. But yeah, she was like, and obviously it become a very interesting conversation.
It was. But I feel like you and my brother we just kept going at it. Like you two were like, well, mommy, we gotta see.
Well, although your brother and I, we kind of did the same thing. We didn't move with our partner until we married them.
Spouse, baby, spouse.
Spouse.
There we go.
Correct. But we understand the reason why someone could choose to live with someone before you're married.
But here's my thing. I'm not going to leave. I'm not moving in with you for like this long, this 10 year, and then you don't tie the knot. You don't do nothing. There's no way. And even if I wasn't like, the culture that we were brought in, even if it was like, okay, let's just move in with this person and see
where things go.
Yeah. I feel like after a year or two, we need to sit down and talk about it and see where do we go from here. The fact that I move out of my parents, I don't know if this girl was at her parents' house or whatnot, but move out to go to live with someone for 10 years. I mean, you basically like doing all the wife duties without having a ring on your finger, pretty much.
Well, I don't know about the wife duties because I don't know what that duties were. They didn't have kids.
How about cooking and cleaning and laundry and take care of the house?
Based on what your mom shared with me, I don't think that girl was doing that.
I'm sure she was. Or
no,
maybe
I don't think she was doing any cooking. I don't think she was doing any laundry. I think she was the type, because one of the comments she told me the girl made is that I need me a rich man. And I think the man that she was hanging out with was not rich enough. And that's probably why this lasted so long. Maybe they were trying to see if they can compromise somewhere. But it got to the point where the guy decided, I'm never going to be as rich as you want me to be. So thank you.
And then marry somebody else. This is so messed up. Like, you wasted like my 10 year that I could have already been married, have kids, and have a family. And now, because again, maybe she wasn't into that. Maybe she was into something else.
She wasn't. But one thing I would say, because obviously she wanted someone rich, and that could have derived from her wanting to be a certain way, maybe comparing herself to people that she's come across. And that's something we have to learn, is that we should not be comparing ourselves to others. Yes, she may have been in a circle where there were rich people, and she's like, I want to be like you. So if I marry you, you need to be able to be rich and make me feel rich and give me rich stuff. Your mother mentioned that they live in an apartment that costs like 20 something, $2,000 something dollars. Yeah. So listen, rent is expensive now. So I don't know how nice that apartment was, but
rent is very expensive.
If it's costing like over $2,000, I would assume it's a fairly decent place. She probably wanted a $5,000 apartment. I don't think that guy could get it to her. So, and that could have come from her comparing herself to other people that may have it. And that could be an issue. So she needed to learn that. Just be who you are. Now, if she didn't want the guy, after a couple of years, just say, hey, listen, you're never going to be as rich as I want you to be. So buzz off.
Buzz off. But to me, I feel like, in my 20s, yes. Compare yourself to others. That's something that a lot of us young women, we do a lot. Like for me, luckily for me, I didn't really have a big circle growing up in high school. I had friends that we hang out with during school time. We talk and we'll just like have our, girls' time during school, during lunchtime, and then before school, and then after school, and every day basically. Yeah. But it wasn't like a circle, let's just go hang out, let's just go be wild and out and have fun and have a good time. Of course my mom and my dad will kill me, and the thing is my brother and I were never like that, like let's go wild after school or on the weekend. No, we were like the yes mom kind of kid, the boring type in a way. I mean, we very much, I don't want to call it the boring type. We were like, our parents is very old school, so therefore there's a lot of things if we don't do, we will get the whooping. And mind you, my mom is one of those very creative
when it comes to punishment.
So we wanted to make sure that we don't get those weird
creative punishments.
Those weird punishments from my mom. So therefore there's a lot of things that we obey and move on. We obey. All right, you're not going out. All right, cool. We get upset, we get over it. That's how she is, and that's how my dad is too. So growing up, there's a lot of things where in your 20s and 30s, you compare a lot of stuff that a friend may have, where marriage, family, and you're like, man, I want this. And to me, especially when it comes to success, that's like a major no. That's like a major no. You don't know what I went through for you to like, I want what Cece have. Cece may have gone through so much, but you don't see the
struggles, the heartaches,
right? Because you see what that person have now, so therefore you compare. There's a lot of girls in high school that's just, sometimes they don't know what they want, but they want what this person has, so therefore they'll do whatever it takes to have somewhat similar.
Many people in their 20s, many people in their 30s want things
But
others have.
I feel like sometimes in our 20s we're not mature enough. But there's a lot of people who are 20s and very, very responsible. Yeah. There's a lot of people who are like 20s and very irresponsible because they don't know what they want. They're like juggling around. Like, what do I want? They'll buy. One thing my husband hates is that in your 20s, especially when we're dating, he does not like when you are still at your parents' house and you're driving a big, whether if it's a Range Rover
like
or
an expensive car,
an expensive luxury car. My husband hates it. He's like, then what's the point? You live with your parents. Why are you buying an expensive luxury car where you could have just like
saved that money? Maybe you'll be able to get your own place. Now, once you get your own place, then you do that.
I would much rather have me an apartment and then have my own luxury car in front of my apartment. But even if
you live in an apartment, don't go and blow that money in a luxury car. Remember, when you're living in an apartment, there's no equity. You're just paying somebody else's mortgage. But here's
my thing. What if that person don't plan on having
buying a home?
Buying a home.
Then in that case, yes.
Right? Like a nice condo, a nice apartment where you have your own.
If you're living in a crappy apartment, you have no business.
You don't want to do that. We knew a friend, actually. We knew a friend when we were dating. We knew a friend who actually drive a very nice, expensive car, but he's like living in a very
crappy place,
crappy neighborhood. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? My husband would talk to him like, what you doing don't make sense. And here's my thing too. When you like in banking, because he is a banker, and he's like, what you doing doesn't make sense. And he started telling the dude like, save this so you can have that and then get you a different car.
Yes.
I mean, you gotta think, is it exactly what I just said? There's a lot of people who like in their 20s are not maturely enough to be responsible of some of the things. They just want to have flashy stuff just to show off. And a lot of time, show off tend to go into deep debt because you can afford it. Mm-hmm. So the comparing yourself, it's really something that a lot of us in our 20s and our 30s, even 30s, sometimes I feel like.
Yeah, listen, it happens literally at different age ranges.
Yeah.
You know, the less mature individuals tend to do it more, but you run into people in the 30s and the 40s. And when you're in a relationship, that can get in the way because once you start comparing yourself, you start setting expectations that maybe at this time you cannot get in this relationship.
Right.
And you start feeling so-and-so is not good enough, they're not adequate, they're not rich enough, they don't make enough money. Yes, eventually they'll make more money, but if you need it right now and you can't get it and you're stressing to get it, then that becomes the stress point of your relationship.
Yes, I definitely think also in your 20s, it's where you need to start finding yourself, right? Especially in your mid-20s, start finding yourself, identify who you truly are. Like some people are really rushing to like relationship because they feel like, okay, I'm 22 or 23. I'm mid-20s. I need to really jump into someone. I mean what I mean. I mean what I say. I need to jump into someone. I need to have this relationship because all my friends. Here's my thing too. People in their early 20s, stop saying all my friends are in a relationship because just because you don't have one doesn't mean something's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Your timing may not be where. Right. Everybody have a different timing. And here's the thing too. You may see these girls have someone in their life, but then yours could be the one once this person is here forever. Right? Something for the guys. A dude sometimes be complaining how I don't have a girlfriend. I'm 23 or 25 or 26. I have no one. Well, maybe that someone is just waiting for you to make that move so you can get that girl. You know?
So be patient.
And find yourself.
Yeah, find yourself and understand that not everyone who had been around will stick around. Sometimes the people that you are with will change.
That is so true.
Some people you'll have to leave them behind, especially if when they're around you, they're not contributing, they're not helping you be the best of you. So sometimes you find your friends will change.
Your circle will change. And it's okay.
Yeah. And I've learned that it is okay.
My husband is like, all right, bye.
Well, I don't keep a lot of people around me, so
which is wrong.
I'm very selective. Listen,
very,
I'm a people person. I hang out with people. Well, not so much hang out with people. If I'm around you, there we'll chat, we'll catch up and so forth. But I'm not the type that's like constantly hanging out with people. Yes, I hang out with this woman and my kids and a few other people, but that's it. My circle is very, very small and it's on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I've learned that sometimes the people that you had around you will change, and it is just fine.
And sometimes your circle changes for the better. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, like we said last time on the podcast, you outgrow your circle. You outgrow your people. There's people you may still want to be around. Listen, I'd rather have quality versus quantity. Okay. I'd rather have a circle that's like pouring into great positivities, pouring into like great energy. I don't want to have a circle that's like pouring so many negativity in like sucking.
And you don't want to be the best or the smartest in your circle either.
No.
No.
Here's my thing. Like when you need something, who you reaching out to?
You need to know people that knows more than you do.
My husband and I, we have this thing. Okay, we need to have like a group of circle of people, like friend, not so much friend. We call them affiliate.
No, it's a mastermind group. You know, some key people you keep around that if you need some advice, you can reach out to. And it's good to have them. And some of them are older than we are. And yes, they're not buddies and friends, but you know, someone that I can say, hey, listen,
they're business partner.
I'm thinking of this idea. This is the things. Hey, I'd like to see if you have any feedback for me.
So my thing is too, sometimes I feel like as you get older and then you'll have a different mindset, it's so hard for you to really stick around people who still like have the same mindset when they're in high school, or if they not grow, if they're just still like in that own little circle, that own little bubble. It is so hard for you to feel like, okay, let's talk about something that can really help you accomplish more. But if they're not there, it's hard for you to just stick around. Yeah. You know, even if you're trying to help them, sometimes it's like, it is what it is. Just let it go. You don't want
to be the smartest one in your circle. So if someone is still hanging out, is still thinking that they're in high school when they're in their 30s, you don't need to hang out with this person.
And there's people that, if you are in a relationship, you gotta have, like we talked about this last week, your partner needs to have goals, right? We talk about how important it is. Like if you're in 20s, 30s, let's talk about like, what are we doing here? Let's talk about, we're not kids anymore. We need to like really grow. Yeah, let's talk about how when you were in high school, you're not there anymore. So you need to like, let's talk about something else. We don't want to gossip about what so-and-so did in high school. Don't mind me. There's time where it's going to be fun to talk about. Remember when we did this in high school? Like, for example, my husband and I were in the kitchen having brunch earlier with the girls. And then we started listening to Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. We were like, yo, my husband was getting goosebumps.
Because if you're talking about Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, you can't be 25.
I am 25. Okay. So he was getting goosebumps all over. And the girl's like, Daddy, you getting goosebumps? It's like, yeah, those were the days. And he's like bobbing his head and the dance, you know, and Eminem and all that.
Remind me of my days of gangster wannabes, you know.
Gangster wanna be in a good body. Let's talk about taking care of your body too, right? How good you used to take care of your body in your 20s and your 30s.
I still do, you know.
No, you still nah.
Listen, I don't go to the gym as I used. Well, I haven't been to the gym as I haven't been to the gym. So yes, I understand that taking care of our body is important, and what you'll find is that there are things that you're supposed to you were good at doing when you were in your 20s because your body was young, it was resilient, you can handle things, you can heal better. You can go into like a killer workout. You sore for a couple of days, but you're good. Now you try to do a killer workout, and then you're sore for a whole week. But it's still important to take care of your body because as you get older, you'll realize that your body needs more care. Things are not happening as they used to. So yes, you may not be able to do the things that you were doing, but you still got to be doing something. Yeah, eat right, exercise, especially when you find yourself working. Sometimes, some of us, we do sit down work where we sit for a good part of the day. I refuse to do that. That's why I'm on my feet. Now, it just makes me exhausted, but I know there's not a lot of benefit in sitting still for an extended period of time. So I do my best not to allow that to happen. Hence, that's probably why I'm not like gaining crazy weight. And I'm trying to watch myself and how I eat as well. Now the workout is coming. It's been coming and it hasn't stopped. It's still coming.
If y'all remember, it's been coming since COVID. And we're like 2 years in. And still.
But you know what? I'm not at the point where I'm overweight. And I'm not saying that it's okay, but I need to put some muscles on, and I need that because my woman would appreciate it if I do.
Yes, and I say this all the time. I'm actually trying to keep up this 25 body, like
In a way, I haven't because I don't want her to get so jealous. So if I get to the point where
it's okay, I'll get jealous.
where
It's okay.
I put muscles back on, I probably will stop wearing shirts, and she'll get jealous when I go out because other people would see me. So it's a good thing maybe because I have not. No, I'm just kidding. Don't listen to me. That's nuts.
Oh my God. This is like the craziest excuse ever. But my thing is, I just want him to go back and because when he was at his parents' house or prior of us having kids and stuff, even me, like I would work out like in the morning. I would do it instead of doing it like 3 times or 5 times a week. I'll go 3 times a day. And mind you, we have all the equipment in the garage, okay? This is how much I feel like my husband mentally, he's just not. But if he was in his 20s, in his 30s, I'm sure when you were in your early 30s.
Well, I had a whole lot less responsibility. It's not just excuses. You know, taking 45 minutes per day, I have more than enough of that time to actually do it. So
I think your brother still do it.
Yeah, my brother gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning, works out before the rest of the family gets up. Yes, he's been doing it. And
consistency is important, you know.
Yes, he's very, very disciplined when it comes to working out. Now, granted, he's in healthcare. He's a physiotherapist. This is the thing that he does.
Okay, baby. We just want to use that as an excuse.
Yes.
But I truly feel like that's an excuse.
No. It's yes, it is an excuse in some way. But my brother, if you take him, it's part of his lifestyle. I mean, this man's been working out since high school. That's been what he does, and there's no on and off for him because it's always been what he does. For me, there's been a bit of on and off, and
too many ons and offs.
Too many ons and offs. Yeah, you know what? It's probably I'll probably have him give me a wake up call every morning he gets up. Just so
it's not gonna happen. Y'all know me. I'm gonna tell her like it is. It's not gonna happen. But I know my husband. It is what it is. But you look good in a way that people may not think that you need to work out. But as a woman, as a wife who's 24/7,
she wants a muscular guy.
I like when you are buffed and when you are healthy is important. So yes, there's nothing wrong with you. But I truly feel like the next thing is when we were in our early 20s and 30s is that mental health is important.
Yes.
And sometimes if you're not mentally ready to work out, then you're just going to keep on making excuses.
So about mental health, there's a lot of things that's getting us, and I think it's probably more than it used to be later.
But I don't think it was never a topic growing up when we were in elementary school or high school, right? I don't think it was as much as it is now.
Mental health is becoming more of an broadly spoken about subject.
Right.
Still in our community, we don't talk about it much, but it's becoming a subject that's getting a lot more attention these days because we realize that. Yes, physically we got to take care of ourselves, but mentally we have to. And there's so many things, especially lately, that's screwing up with our mind.
Yeah.
With our
oh my
head.
Goodness.
You know, every day you're hearing something's happen, and some of us have difficulty processing that. We just coming out of COVID,
right?
Which was like crazy for all of us. We get to be in places we've never been before. We get to wrap our faces. That's never been a thing. We get confined at home for months.
Right.
We don't get to see the people we normally hang out with. We get to eat in more than we eat out.
That's how we gain so much weight because we eat in.
So there's a lot of things we've been deprived of, and that causes many of us to not be able to handle ourselves. So I realize that mentally we have to do the things we need to do: relaxing, meditation, praying, if you're religious. You know, take time out for yourself. Learn to deal with those little stressors that happens. Learn to we had a summit this week where Mel Robbins had a chance to talk to us within our company, and we talked about celebrate the small wins, because sometimes there's so many things happens that we forget to look at the little things, and the little things always add up to a big things. But if we don't see them, we'll think that we're failing. Yeah. But if we take a moment to look at all the little positive things we do, we'll be able to look at it and, you know what? Yes, I'm not all bad. I've done a lot of things. It's this, and this. Yeah. And sometimes we focus so much on the result, we forget to look at the steps it takes to get to the result. So yes, but mentally we have to take time for yourself. Many people don't see the advantage in doing this.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think the only thing I just want to add is that, back then in high school, in college, when we were in our 20s and 30s, we didn't really have this much of mental.
Well, the stressors may not have been as many.
Yes, but because of there's a lot of kids nowadays in their like 20s and 30s, and it's a lot for them. It is so much where they can't concentrate in school. They can't concentrate it. And there's a lot, especially during COVID. Y'all know how it is, how it went down during COVID. A lot of kids, like teenagers in their 20s and 30s, they're just like mentally, they were just like, I want to say it, dead. A lot of us. Yeah. We're like mentally, we are going crazy, and where in the world this whole mental thing came from. But here's my thing. If you know anyone, especially last month, we just came from a mental
health month, I think.
Yes.
Mental awareness month.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Just make sure you check on your friends, you check on your family members, you check on little kids, just check on your cousins. I do check on my cousins every now and then. And y'all, please forgive me if I don't check on you too much that often, because I have a lot going on for myself too. Like sometimes I'll be like, who's checking on me?
I check on you.
Okay, baby. Yes.
I check on her.
But sometimes you when you're checking on so many people, who's checking on you? Because you need someone to check on you too, right?
Yes.
You need people to be like, all right, Cece, how you been? I haven't heard from you. But then I feel like most of the time I'm the one constantly reaching out. How's it going? How's it been? I guess because I care more than others.
And listen, you're aware that it is something. When you're aware, you tend to do more. Because mental issues sometimes are within our families, within our homes, but we never look at it for what it is. Like in our community, when someone's going through something, we just say, hey, I'm fine. I dealt with this fine. You should be able to. And then we kind of brush it off, not realizing that not all of us have the same capacity to handle things. And when someone's going through something difficult, sometimes it's good to acknowledge it actually is difficult. And if I don't have the skills or the ability to provide advice, maybe point them in the right direction. So maybe look to see what resources are available to help. Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's the next thing. Let's switch the gear a little bit. So remember how in our 20s and, I'm still 20, but remember in our 20s and 30s when we used to have so much time in our hands, we used to it's the weekend. Let's go to the mall shopping. Let's go this and that. Waste a lot of time. When you were young, you have an
abundance.
A lot of time in your hands. After you're done studying, you're like, all right, what should I need? What should I do next? But now that
you're older and mature and you have responsibilities, time is scarce.
Listen, now you have a full-time job, 40 hours per week.
Yeah.
For 40 hours. Yeah. Like when you literally only have the weekend. And when especially for those kids who are in college and work 40 hours, and then the weekend is the only time they get to sometimes.
That's when they do their studies and trying to catch up with chores and stuff.
Time is limited. Okay?
And if you're like us, you have kids, you have household responsibilities, and you find sometimes you work more than 40 hours.
Yes.
You go to work during the day, and many of us spend our daylight hours just working. So more than ever, it's important to know that your time is limited and prioritize the things that you need to do.
Yes. And sometimes I'm like, my time starts from the morning until midnight. I don't clock out until midnight.
She needs a clock. that has a punch out button to it.
I don't. And I kind of miss, our going out moment, but again, when you have kids and you have this and that going on and you just limited. When you were in your 20s, there was so many things that you could do. You have less adult financial responsibilities. So for example, you didn't have a mortgage payment, you didn't have daycare for your kids, and you didn't have to pay extra curriculum activities. Nowadays, when you're a mom, especially those moms that have like a lot of kids, I'm blessed to have two. Especially these moms who have so many kids and they're like, okay, let's put them all in the minivan and let's just, thank God I don't have a minivan. I have a Sport. I have a Ford and I'm okay with that. My truck is good. And it's like every weekend, let's pick up and go to extra activities and do this and do that and third. It's like crazy. Yo.
But it's important to acknowledge that time is limited and use it the best you could. Because look at the challenges, because once you have these things, you kind of have them. But how do you live with them? And being able to learn that, hey, this is what I have. This is the amount of time I have. How do I best put it to use so my family, myself can benefit from it? And that's a big learning for all of us. As we get older, we get busier, and we have to learn to manage our time a lot easier.
If you're in your 20s and 30s, enjoy your time. Enjoy the ride, okay? Enjoy it, because afterwards
you'll still get to enjoy it, but with fewer hours.
Enjoy your time. I tell my daughter this all the time. I'm like, listen, be a kid and enjoy being a kid, because a kid is having fun. Don't worry about trying to be a grown-up. There's a lot of kids nowadays who wants to be grown. They think it's fun. Let me tell you now, it's a lot of work. If you're not ready, take your time and enjoy your teenage years. Whatever years that you are, enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Your 20s can be stressful at times.
Let me just quickly clarify this. When we're saying enjoy, we're not saying just go and do all crazy stuff.
Wait, yes. Let's make sure you don't think that, all right, well, Cece say I should go enjoy my time.
There's things you do while you're young that will make sure that your older days are crappy. So no, don't go in like risk at all. But take your time. Do the things that's going to put you in a position to really be able to enjoy your older days.
Yeah, have fun. Have fun.
Again, have fun.
But have fun in a kid way. Play your video games if you have to. And not that type of fun with your dirty mind, baby. I see you.
I'm just saying, listen, fun can be looked at in a number of different ways. If you go have fun and before you know it, you find yourself 16, 17, 18, 20 with 3 kids, then you're going to have a tough time later.
That part.
So have fun. Or you go and have fun and you find yourself with a criminal record. That's not good. I'm talking about enjoy the time that you have. Learn as much as you can. Do the things that put you in a position to enjoy life later. That's what I mean when I said have fun.
Yeah, enjoy your life. Party like a rock star in your 20s and 30s. Again, party in a mature way, okay? If you have to get an Uber to get you home, do so.
That is if you can drive yourself.
If you can. When I was in my early 20s.
There were no Ubers then.
No, I'm talking about my hangover moment where like...
you ever had a hangover?
I did. What? I had many in my house, the mature way in my house. I had many. Yes. I had many. I didn't have, like I said, we didn't have a whole lot of stuff in the beginning.
So when you drunk, you don't know what happened. So you sure it was at your house?
Of course it was in my house. I remember there was one 2 years ago where I was still.
Yes, I remember that.
There you go. Remember I passed out at my parents' house on New Year's Eve.
Oh, that was an experience, but no.
Anyways, hangovers are fun. They're not fun at all. So here's my thing. Enjoy your life. Your 20s and 30s, we've learned a great amount of deals, right? We learned good and bad.
You learn from your mistakes.
There you go.
You learn from the people around you. You learn, and it's important to learn because
that's what life is about.
Listen, we're only able to sit here and talk to you guys because we've had a chance to experience certain things, and obviously we'll be experiencing a whole lot more because she's still 25.
Hello.
Me, I am where I am.
He is working.
So, but hey, listen, this is our podcast on what have we learned, and what we've learned is that learn to live, learn to adjust, learn to appreciate, learn to laugh, learn to take care of your body, learn to accept that things will change around you. Learn that life is what it is, but do your best to get the best out of it. Because a lot of it is within your control, and what you do now or later, whenever it might be, but what you do will determine how much you enjoy it, how much you hate it, and craziness will happen. Just expect that. Crap will happen that will mess with your psyche, you know, but take care of your mental health, take care of your body, because you find as you change, your body will change, your views on things will change. Yeah. Certain things will frustrate you more. Others you'll just say, I don't give a, you know what, and then you move on. Yeah. But expect that things will happen to you, to the people around you, the people that you leave behind, the people that you bring on board, the people that you support, the people who support you.
People that you love.
The people that you love and hate.
Okay, that part.
So guys, this is our podcast, and we appreciate you sticking around and listening to us discussing these things that are important to anyone's lives. Yeah. Please share this podcast.
And leave us some comments. What have you learned in your 20s and 30s?
Yes, we'd like to hear.
We'd like to hear from you.
Your experience and some of the things that's been making, you know, changing your life and the people around you as well.
Leave us some comments below.
Yes, and we appreciate all the comments from last week's podcast. So thank you, everybody who took the time to really let us know.
Appreciate y'all.
Some of the things that you run into. So we appreciate you. So continue to like the videos, continue to share them. And if this is your first time with us, remember to subscribe. We welcome you to our lives and our podcast. Yes. And for those of you who's been supporting us since the beginning, we really appreciate you, and keep supporting us. We'll keep finding ways. And if there's anything you'd like us to discuss, by all means, just plug it in. If we can squeeze it into the topics that we discuss, we'll definitely do so. Yes. Yeah. So on that note, thank you very much. Remember to check us on the audio channels, the Spotify, SoundCloud,
Shopify,
not Shopify, TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts. You'll get to listen to us if you don't get to watch us on YouTube this way. So again, thank you very much.
And please like, share, subscribe, and click on the bell to be notified when we release new videos. Don't forget to like and share. Okay. And thank you too for all the love. That's all I got to say.
And now I'm going to say, we'll see you next Saturday.